Okay, so we understand the basic positional control, and we understand how to respond to someone who's attempting to replace the guard. At a certain point, like we mentioned when we were discussing the first segment, we want to return to or achieve the mounted position. How do we know when to mount? We know we can mount when we've spent enough time here in the side mount that our opponent is exhausted and therefore very unlikely to, or perhaps incapable of, stopping the mount attack. So once I've spent some time here using all of my positional controls and my weight crushing his midsection, especially his diaphragm, to impair his breathing and therefore exhaust him because he's very, very under-oxygenated, right? He's hypoxic. At this point, I can start to move to the mounted position. Once I feel secure and I see that he's responding in an exhausted state, I'm going to switch my position so that my knees just go alongside his body. So everything's the same, hands, legs, and my head, and I'm going to move my knees in close to him like this. Right? Now one issue here that comes up, you see his near top arm, right? It's sort of sliding in between my knee and my hip, or him and our bodies, right? In order for me to truly have a superior position here, I need to clear that out of the way. So my top knee, it can slide around and under, and then back out, and it clears the armpit, right? It clears the armpit. If I lift up this space and he's able to drop that inside, it's the same type of pressure that he was able to use earlier to start to put pressure on my hips and slide the knee out, or he can even use pressure to elevate me there and hold my head or hold under my arm and roll me to the far side, the other way. Right, exactly. So I'd have to go back to this. And I want to avoid that now. I've just spent a lot of time working to nullify all of those things. So as soon as I see that this is inside, I want to work to clear it. So look at this knee. It slides in, and then it moves the elbow and armpit back out and back high. Once I'm in this position, I just want to sit low on my hips, right? Almost like sit back on your heels. Again, the hands are the same. The head is low. And this bottom leg, the bottom leg, I start to drive it across his stomach. Look. I don't go all the way. I leave my shin in the stomach, and I leave my foot here hooked on the outside of the hip. That's the leg. Now I need the arm. The danger here, because I'm starting to lean this way, is if I don't have a base, I get rolled over. Right? You see how I'm starting to go. Okay? So the same thing that I used earlier, the bottom hand, right, goes out for base. This time I want to make sure that I reach at an angle. I don't want to go straight across because it's not as effective. I want to widen him by going at an angle and then leaning this way. He wants to roll me that way, so I'm going to keep myself at this 45-degree angle. It's a little safer for me. I'm going to continue through this motion until the knee touches the ground. And then right here, I want to stretch him open. So look, the knee is going to slide south, right? The knee slides south, and the arm slides north at the same time. And look at the space that I opened. There's a big gap here, and that also keeps him from being able to effectively use his hips. Now to get my foot off, if I just step over slowly, look, he may swim the arm inside, and he may shove my knee in between his legs. And it prevents my mount. It prevents my mount. So in order for me to mount successfully, once I've gone from standard position to knees close, cleared the armpit, started to drag the shin, based my hand at 45 degrees with a stiff arm. Maybe you can even go in forearm if you'd like, right? So you're closer to the ground. And start to drag the knee across. When the knee touches the ground, I now stretch the knee south and the arm north. This is what I need to do to get this foot out right here. This foot has to go over his legs. And to do that, I need to lift my hips a little bit and then turn them completely over. Like this. Watch. This foot, I step up on just slightly so that I do this. Right? All the way over. And then as soon as my hand and knee come down together, I shoot my knee into the armpit. And now spread my base wide and begin my mount control series. Let's go back. I'm here in side mount control, and I notice the opponent is readily exhausted, so I come to my knees and I face him. I'm low on the hips, my head is low. Everything is essentially the same. Critical here that I clear the armpit. It's not a make it or break it detail. It's not absolutely necessary, but it does help very much to maintain a more controlled positioning. I'm going to take the bottom leg and slide it across his stomach, leaving my shin and foot in place. The hand now also helps me maintain a solid base and prevent a roll by going out 45 degrees for base. I'm going to widen the base now by taking the knee and putting it on the ground and stretching the knee south and the arm north. Once this happens, I'm going to roll my hips over completely. So this foot here, the foot that's dragged across, flops to the ground. Look. And now as soon as it hits the ground, I want to shoot the knee high. And then put my hands up for base and start to maintain my mount controls. One more time, okay? Standard positioning, all of the tricks to prevent the roll, to prevent the guard. He's tired now. Come to my knees. Clear the armpit. Start to drag the shin across. Help my base with my arm at 45 degrees. Follow through to the knee on the ground. Stretch him now, knee south, arm north. Turn my hips over so that the foot flops off, look. And shoot the knee high immediately. Spread the base wide and low and maintain the mount. The way we learned in lesson 3. Right? This makes sense? Okay guys, let's give that a try.